For decades now, televisions across North Carolina have been turned on at 6 o'clock to find out what's happening around the world. The 6 o'clock news is a regular event in most people's households, and the man that probably more people get their news from than anyone else is Charlie Gaddy.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon. In a small meeting room, a group of WRAL-TV's most powerful executives have gathered for a story meeting.
We sit down and do a story conference.
Right.
Those stories started up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, but we get together at 2:30, and we put everything on the table. You know, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to lead with. Does anyone have any questions? These are the live shots. These are the reporters, and so forth. Shortly after that meeting, and if you have concerns, you can put them on the table in there.
Right.
So we settle things out there, and shortly after that meeting, we begin to look for scripts that are coming out. Those scripts are not completed until sometimes, almost depending on late breaking stories, right up to news time.
Right.
But there are a lot of other things that you have to do also. We do some pre-recorded promos and headlines and so forth, getting ready for the 6. Then when those scripts come out, as you know, we just go over them with a fine-tooth comb. I try to find mistakes.
Right.
We all try to find mistakes. I mean, mistakes are the enemy. Then we actually put the newscast on. Then at 6:30, which is about the time we're speaking now, or a little after, everybody has a break. I mean, people go to dinner, but then the process starts all over again with the 11 o'clock news.
3:07. This is Charlie Gaddy's office. A wall filled with various awards collected over his many years anchoring at WRAL-TV 5. But some might call this an ego wall, but Charlie disagrees. Instead, his plaques are honors, reminders of the hundreds of organizations and special people he's met over the years. Of course, Charlie is a man who truly believes in being active in the community.
One of the great things about this company is that, and television in general, is that you can draw attention to a project, a good project.
Right.
You can, whether it be in education or United Cerebral Palsy or Acute Speech Center, I mean, you name it, Cancer Society, the United Way, people in our industry can draw attention to it. That's the main thing we can do.
Right.
Is make sure that people know that, say, the campaign is on and so forth.
Right.
A lot of those things you see on the wall there, as I told you before, represent so many great people that I've had a chance to work with, and on all different kinds of projects. So my community service is really important to me. I don't make a big fuss over it, but I hardly ever say no. I hardly ever say no to any community project.
Right.
Small, large, small town, big town, whatever.
Right. In Charlie's spare time, he can be found around the lake which is on his property. Gaddy enjoys spending time alone with nature, a much-needed contrast from the busy TV set. He is particularly fond of a black snake which has made his home on the nearby tennis court. Tennis and nature are two of Gaddy's pastimes, but Charlie spends most of his time reading.
Let me give you my menu of preparation.
Okay.
Just so that no one can know everything.
Sure.
But in my preparation to do my work, this is what I read. The News and Observer, without fail. The Christian Science Monitor, daily, without fail. The Wall Street Journal. Now, I don't go all the way through the Wall Street Journal, but I hit and miss on that because that's a huge newspaper. That would take me a long time. I take Newsweek, Time, and U.S. News and World Report.
Charlie Gaddy is a man with experience behind him. He started his career in the radio field, but eventually ended up in television.
I won an audition for summer replacement staff announcer. That is, I filled in for Willard Scott and all of the announcers while they were on vacation. Now, when the summer was over, I either had to go back to being a page or I had to find something else. So I came from there to Raleigh in 1960 to WPTF Radio. They didn't have television then, or PTF didn't.
Right.
And I was there for 10 years, and then in 1970 I came over here, and I've been here ever since. So I've only worked for three 3 stations.
Despite the years of experience Charlie Gaddy has doing the evening news, not everything always goes exactly as planned.
It was during the campaign when Harvey Gantt was running in the Senate. Now, Harvey Gantt's name was in the news during that campaign a zillion times every day.
Right.
Harvey, everything he did was, we were reporting Harvey Gantt, and of course his opponent too, Senator Helms. So we're really following the campaign, both of them, all the time. Now, there was a story on this particular night about a race driver named Harry Gantt.
Right.
And it was not a positive story. Mr. Gantt, Harry Gantt, has a little bit of trouble getting speeding tickets. Mm-hmm. So he had amassed a great number of speeding tickets, and the story was about that. He was about to have his license taken, I think. So in reporting the story, I was reading the story. It was just before weather, and in reporting the story, I said Harvey Gantt instead of Harry Gantt got all these tickets, got all these speeding tickets. I did not hear myself say it. I mean, sometimes you can hear what you've said, and you just right away you say, oh, I didn't mean to say Harry Gantt, I meant to say Harvey Gantt. Right. I didn't hear myself say it. But the switchboard lit up, okay? And we're in the break just before weather. The switchboard lights up, and then the producer calls me down on my earpiece and says, I'm afraid you said Harvey Gantt instead of Harry Gantt. And I said, I'm so sorry. I absolutely have to correct it. And I said, I will correct it on the handoff to Greg Fishel. Right. Now, Greg's fooling around over there at his weather board. He didn't hear any of this. He didn't hear any of this. So he comes up on the set and he sits down. And so I turn to him when the light comes on, and I say, Greg, in the story just before the weather, I did a story about a fella getting traffic tickets, and I said I meant to say Harvey Gantt, and I said Harry Gantt. And Greg, not even knowing what I was talking about, said, oh, well, said Harry Gantt probably has some of those too, or something like that. Well, see, he made it worse. Made it worse. The switchboard lights up again. He goes on and does the weather. It got so bad that after sports, we had to kill the kicker, the little cute story we have at the end, to try to lift people up after we've given them all this bad news. We had to completely kill that, and I had to walk through with the viewer all of that. That Greg, I didn't mean what I said. Greg didn't mean what he said, and now that's how balled up you can get sometimes by just a slip of the tongue.
Right. TV news reporting is not always lights, camera, and action. Gathering the news in the field can oftentimes be dangerous.
A lot of young people going into this business don't realize that we do, I don't mean anchors, but our reporters, they're outside. This is an outside job, you know what I mean? When it's 99 degrees, our kids are out there, talking about the heat stories, or when it's 5 below, they're out there in it. And when there's a hurricane, they're out there in it.
Sure.
It is sometimes, not very often, it is sometimes dangerous. I mean, our work is sometimes dangerous. I mean, there's some people here who have been under fire.
Right.
So, a lot of things that young people think are not necessarily valid when they think about a career in this.
Right.
And I like to try to flesh it out for them, really show it to them.
Right.
There are also a lot of real good jobs, as you just saw this afternoon. There are a lot of excellent jobs that have nothing to do with being on the air.
Right.
Charlie Gaddy loves all aspects of his job, but as exciting as the television news industry is, his favorite part is the people he works with.
I work around some marvelous people now. You saw some of them today, and you saw my obvious affection for them.
Right. And then for you.
And Pam, one of the things, Pam is extremely bright. I have fun with her, as you can see, and the thing that people don't see, that I see, is a person who is serious about the news, but she loves to laugh, And she, if you ever heard her wide open, rollicking laugh, you would never forget it because it's just full of joy. Donna Gregory, an equally smart woman. Donna made Dean's List in college. I mean, these are bright people I'm talking about. Right. Tommy Suter and I have been together. I mean, we have loved some of the same friends and suffered some of the same fools over all of these years. He and I have been together 23 years of my 24 over here.
Of course, the topic of Charlie Gaddy's retirement arose in our conversation. His last day anchoring for WRAL-TV is going to be July 1st. But Charlie has several reasons for deciding to retire.
First of all, I will be 63 years old at my next birthday. Now, that's not old. I'm healthy, so health and age didn't have as much to do with it as the fact that I want to do some other things that appeal to me before I get too old and before something happens. And I can't be specific about that. I can only tell you that one of them involves writing. I want to do some writing. I love to write. I've already been commissioned to write a part of a book already. It's not a serious book, but nevertheless, it will establish my interest in writing to people who have a chance to read it. So that's one of the things that I want to do. And there are just a number of others, and I can't go into the others because they're not altogether clear to me, but writing is one of them.
Right. The list could go on, but Charlie Gaddy decided on two things that he'll miss most about WRAL.
I will miss those marvelous young people that you saw in that newsroom today. Right. I am so fortunate to be able to work around people who are literally young enough to be my kids. And they aggravate me sometimes, and I aggravate them sometimes, but I love them to pieces. I enjoy their energy, their young energy. I mean, every day I know I'm going to come in here and just get in here with them and feel that energy that youthful energy that they ride on. I will miss that, seeing them every day. I will miss that an awful lot. And then my good friend and supporter and mentor is Jim Goodman, the president of this company. Right. I will miss my contact with him. He has been my greatest supporter and one of my dearest friends in all the world. And I'll miss seeing him on a regular. Now, this doesn't mean I won't ever see him again. Doesn't mean that I won't ever see these kids again. But on a day-to-day basis, that's what I'll miss. Right. Charlie Gaddy, WRAL-TV News, Raleigh.